Good afternoon, friends. How are you doing today? It is a marvelous Friday. I am so glad and honored to be sharing with you here today. And I just want to welcome you. It's Live Out Loud with Jason. And what a wonderful, amazing day this is. So, how are you doing? Are you living out loud? Are you making progress on living out loud? Are you overcoming fear? Are you overcoming procrastination? Are you taking action? Are you taking next steps? Are you dividing things up? Are you setting yourself up? Are you setting yourself up for success? That's the next question. Are you setting yourself up for success? So we'll get into that here in just a moment. But we have been talking about living out loud, discovering who God created us to be, developing our talents, our skills, whether we're digging them up, dusting them off, or rejuvenating them. We are understanding the uniqueness that God made each of us. Don't forget, friends, you're a unicorn. You are a very rare, unique being. There is not another one in the world like you. And the only person in this world that can live out your calling and your destiny is you. So if you don't do it, who will do it? It's time to dive all in with who God made you to be. It's time to embrace who God made you to be. It's time for you to develop your competence, find your confidence, and be bold and courageous and move forward in what God has called you to do and be. Now, this looks different a little bit for each one of us because we all have unique abilities and skills and giftings and internal drives that He's given us. So mine doesn't look like yours and yours doesn't look like mine, although we may share some similarities. And hey, there's Christina. Hey, Christina. Glad you joined in today. You are awesome. You keep at it, girl. You keep at it. So I want to ask you a question. Are you set up for failure? Are you set up for failure? Now, let me clarify that a little bit. Are you setting yourself up for failure? Because we're not gonna blame anyone or anything or any past circumstances on, and we're going to take responsibility for where we're at going forward. We can't change what happened to us in the past. We can't change even what we did in the past. The only thing we can do is direct what we're doing right now, set our direction, set our mindset, our attitude, determine our feelings and beliefs. That's what we're in control of, friends. And that's what's going to separate the winners from the losers, is directing ourselves going forward rather than dwelling or celebrating on the past, okay? Yeah, celebrating too much on past victories is also another hindrance to future success, okay? So here's my thing. I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say that I decided that I wasn't going to eat any fat, that I was cutting fat out of my diet. Okay? It starts well before putting that food in your mouth. It starts all the way back at, did it go in your shopping cart at the grocery store? Did it make it to your pantry? Did you cook it? Did you grab it? So that's things like that. If we just put it in our basket, we are setting ourselves up for failure. One of the things that I'll just tell you, I deal with this every day. You know, I have decided to virtually eliminate sugar from my diet. Okay, that's just a personal choice of mine. And so when I happen to stop by the grocery store to get the kids some popsicles, okay, well, guess what? Dad wants a good old popsicle too, right? Well, you go down the ice cream frozen aisle. Well, there's not too many choices on sugar-free popsicles, and sometimes when I go, they don't even have any at all. It's all sugar everywhere. So I'm left with a choice. Okay, I can do without, or I can say, yeah, you know what? One won't hurt. This time, it'll be okay this time. And guess what? One time really wouldn't be a big deal. The problem is, it sets a precedent. It's a slippery slope. And it isn't just one time. When you let those bad habits creep into your life, they want to grow roots. They want to latch on and they want to grow. And the next time is easier than the first time. And the third time is easier than the second time. And before you know it, you've established a whole new pattern of behavior that's now ingrained in as a habit, and you're off track. Okay? So where in our lives do we need to, draw that hard line? I'm not going to mess with this. I'm not going to mess with this. I'm not going to cross that line. Okay? I'm not going to go into that store. I'm not going to say this, do this, speak with that person. I'm not going to put this in my mouth. I'm not going to drink this, smoke this, whatever it is. There has to be a time, friends, when we actually draw a hard line. And there's Mom again. Mom is my biggest fan and my hero. You're my hero. Thank you for joining in today. We got to draw a line in the sand, okay? And we always hear about this a lot of times that it's about doing everything in moderation. Okay, that's true. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that all the way. A lot of times there's plenty of things that are great in moderation if they stay in moderation. And if you're an all-in type of a person, sometimes it's hard to do anything moderately. Okay, it's hard to do it moderately. You're either all in or all out. And maybe you're that type of a person. Maybe you're not that type of a person, but that's what you need to know and understand about you, how you think, how you react, and understanding you. That's when I get back, to the beliefs, not just understanding that God is good, but how God made you and your internal workings. What type of a personality did He put inside of you? And what have you developed and become because of the environment that you live in? And how does your thinking work? How does it work? It's a lot to think about. So thinking about, setting yourself up for failure. Setting yourself up for failure is, how about negativity in your life? I like to call them negative inputs. It could be talk radio. I'm not saying all talk radio is bad, but typically it's a bunch of people nagging and whining about things they can't change. Okay, now there's other good ones, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the popular stuff that people like to listen to, it adds absolutely no value to your life. Much of the news out there, oh my gosh, I saw one of the best things online the other day, and it was the best way to cure our problems, and it showed someone click, turning off the TV. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And another one said, how about just turn everything off and go out and talk to your neighbors? A wonderful, wonderful advice. And, which on a side note, hey, there's Kayla Wayla. Hey, girl, haven't seen you forever. Hope you're doing great, young lady. This whole COVID thing that we're still dealing with in my neighborhood, I've seen more families out playing basketball in the driveway, walking, running, riding their bikes, just out and about, and life is happening more than ever before. And so there's a lot of good that's actually come from this whole situation. So, but what are the things that we set ourselves up for failure with? And I used an example of the grocery store, but we want to love everybody, but I'm going to be honest, you might have some people in your life that you need to cut off. You need to press the delete key or the hang up key. You do not need discouragers, negative people in your life. And if they're beating you down, you don't need that voice in your life. You need people in your life who are encouraging you. How about provoking you, but provoking you to be better, to do good deeds? How about that? Okay, so, hey, Phoebe's there. Hey, Phoebe, glad you joined in today. I'm so blessed and honored that you guys are or taking a few minutes out of your busy day to hang out with good old Jason, your buddy Jason. Okay, so I want you to think about this for a second. Okay, so think about your life, all the realms of your life, from a bird's eye view. Okay, you're looking down on your life. Okay, you're looking down, and you've got your job and your health and your relationships and your finances and all these other areas. Look from a bird's eye view and conduct an audit. And honestly, you could very easily do this on paper. Just write out the main areas of your life. Whether it's a spouse or a parent or a leader, whatever it is, every key area of your life and your free time. Write it out. Get the bird's eye view. I want you to conduct an audit. Hey, there's Rochelle. Oh my gosh, there's Janshell. Hey girl, how are you doing? So glad you joined in. And thank you for saying hi, everybody. Conduct a bird's eye. Look at your calendar, okay? Where are you spending your time? Because you have, every one of us, we have the same 24 hours a day. We have, the same limits on our lives, the same amount of time. We have time, energy, resources that we can use, right? So look at your calendar. Where am I spending my time? Is that where I should be spending my time? But let's not just stop by looking at our calendar. For those of you, I don't know about Android, but on Apple devices, there's something called screen time, okay? Let's go into settings and let's look at screen time. Where have I been spending my time? Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. Okay, how about this? How about log into Netflix.com and go to their website and look at the log of all the shows you've been watching? I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying it's good to become aware of how you're spending those 24 hours a day. What have you been watching? Are those shows, is it, hey, I needed a break. I needed some entertainment. I wanted to watch a show or a movie with the kids or whatever. Hey, that's all great. I'm not objecting to any of that. You can be your own judge. But now let's think, the things that you're putting in, are they uplifters or are they bring downers? Are they building you up or cutting you down? Are they improving your mindset and your attitude, or are they discouraging, hurting, taking it down? And I want to encourage you, friends, if you're going to live out loud, you have to control what comes into your body. You have to control where your time and energy and resources are spent, okay? And if I'm sounding judgy, please, I'm not trying to sound judgy. I want to inspire you and encourage you to just take a look. And instead of just going for a year or a decade without considering these things, take a look and say, hey, is this what I really want to be doing? If I continue doing what I'm doing, am I on an upward trajectory or am I on a downward trajectory? Again, that can be in your relationships, that could be in your finances, your career, your health, all of that, right? And even in your spiritual life. So here's another place you could look. Go to your Safari or your Chrome or whatever you use to browse the internet. Look at your history and browse through the last days. What am I spending? Am I spending my time on worthless things that are worthless to what I need to be doing? And again, it's okay. Guess what? If we go lay on the beach for a week, is that bad? No, that's R&R time. We need that time. We need a day off. We need to get rest at night, and we need to rest one day on the weekend because we need to recharge our batteries. But now, once your battery is recharged, your body, your mind, your spirit, once you are recharged, we need to spend all of that energy on the right things and not the wrong things, okay? So, it's about being proactive. And, so many people, they will tell their money where to go. They will, put their paycheck or an automatic draft from their checking account or their paycheck into their savings or investment accounts, and they will predetermine this is going here, this is going here. But then they don't predetermine how they're going to spend their time. And you want to know what's worth more than money? Is time. Time is worth way more than money. You can always earn more money. You can never get more time, ever get more time. Now you can extend the likelihood that you're going to have more time by being healthy and developing healthy habits, okay? But let's direct our minutes, our hours, our days, our months, our years. Let's direct those. Let's predetermine where those things are going to be spent. Theologians like to disagree on a term called predestination, about were you predestined as to where you were going or not, right? Heaven or hell. And how about we have a little predestination on the way we're going to spend our time and our money? I'm going to predetermine, here's what I'm going to do here, here's what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to do here. Instead of just, I'm going to get up and figure, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Because when you have that, I don't know what I'm going to do. What happens is the whole day can go by and it's wasted. Maybe the whole week, the whole month, years, a couple decades, maybe a whole career. Determine in your mind, you're not going to go another day, another moment of wasting what God has entrusted to you. Phoebe says a pie chart of time. That's a really great idea. Divide it into 24 or whatever, or maybe even into 1440. That's how many minutes we have in the day, and see how we're doing it. That's a wonderful idea. Not that you do that forever, but why not just do it for a week and just see what happens? And Rochelle, my queen, I'm glad you're listening in today. I'm glad you've tuned in. Thank you guys so much I'm so honored that you guys are spending a few minutes with me. But, for instance, one of the things that I did is I decided I was going to, I shared a little bit about this with you guys. I decided I was going to basically cut out almost entirely carbs and sugars from my diet. Well, for the first bit, I said, you know what? I am not going to put anything in my mouth until I know how many carbs and sugars are in it. This is how I set myself up for success, because I had been through so many failures. Trust me, I was on that merry-go-round, so many failures. I finally said, you know what? I'm not going to put anything in my mouth unless I know how many carbs and sugars are in it. So I just started counting, and I had a goal. I'm like, I'm going to have this. I'm going to only have this many carbs and this many sugars in a day, period. And so then I began to recognize, even without having to look at the label, now I pretty much know what I've got, what I've eaten, and how much I have left. So it's become I've gained knowledge, and I've developed a habit, and so it's not a problem anymore. And I just maintain that. So setting ourselves up for success is so important. And you can talk about, you can read books on habits. There's all kinds of great information on how to set up your environment for success. And here's one you guys can probably all relate to, maybe not relate to, but at least understand. You've seen it. The idea of, let's just say, for instance, you have an issue with getting up early. A lot of people say, hey, I'm not a morning person. I have a hard time getting up in the morning. Fair enough. Okay. So they say, well, put your alarm clock across the room. That way you have to get up and walk across the room. There's an alarm clock that when it goes off, it rolls off your nightstand and rolls around the floor, and you have to chase it down. So think about that. If you're that committed that you will put a system in place that's going to ensure you get out of bed to shut that thing up, if that's what it takes to help start that new habit in your life, set yourself up for success. Set yourself up for success, friends. So, okay, so I want to change subjects on you for a quick second. And just, I want you to consider this. Are you spending time and money, and let's just say resources, energy, time, money, resources, energy. Do you tend to spend those things fixing what's broken or preventing something from breaking? Fixing what's broken or preventing something from breaking, right? And like an example here, we go to the dentist, We're supposed to go to the dentist twice a year, every 6 months, right? That is for preventative maintenance. And so if we do the preventative maintenance, we keep the plaque off of our teeth, keep our gums healthy, our x-rays. One, when there are problems, we identify them early and take care of them. Now, if we don't do that, we run the risk that all of a sudden we're going to have a cavity that we don't know about, and we don't really know about it until we start having pain in our tooth. Well, when we have pain in our tooth, guess what? That cavity has gone all the way through the enamel and into the dentin, and now we need root canal. So now we're in for a lot of pain and a lot of money, all because we didn't do the little things along the way. And we can spend our time doing the little things to avoid the big problems later. And one of the things that I'm a big fan of Dave Ramsey's stuff, and one of the things that Dave likes to say is and he uses this regarding money, okay, but this really applies across everywhere. Live now like others won't, and later you can live like others can't. He also says, live now like others won't, and later you can live and give like others won't or can't at that time. So it's about, directing our time, directing our attention so that we can get better results. Because now when we're fixing things, we're wasting effort. Okay, guess what? Maybe I don't rotate the tires on my car. I don't go get them rotated. And so now they wear out. They wear out too soon, and I get a flat. So now I'm stranded, hours and hours there. Now I got to spend more money because my tires wore out. Why not just take care of it ahead of time? And we're unencumbered by emergencies. We need to control the things we can control. Look, not everything's in our control, but there are plenty of things that are in our control. Bye, Phoebe. See you next time. There are plenty of things that are within our control. And when we control those things, our wasted effort is reduced, right? So when we maintain our teeth, there's less pain, less money in the end. When we maintain our car, less pain, less money in the end. And so, let's get into the habit of being proactive about directing our time where we're going to put our time. I want this to be amazing in my life, so I'm going to put time and effort into cultivating that thing. And one of the ways to live out loud, friends, is to become a productivity powerhouse. Okay, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow, about productivity, and but taking responsibility. If you're going to live out loud, you can't be constantly fixing broken things in your life. We got to make sure we got to prevent broken things as many as we can, so that we can be unencumbered to live out loud. So that's just one of the areas of this, friends. Okay, so I'd love to hear from you. Send me a chat, private message, public message, whatever. Friends, I want to encourage you. Share this video with someone. You can repost it to your Facebook page or private message it, whatever. Share it with someone, and that needs to be encouraged, because you're more awesome than you think. God's got bigger plans for you than you probably ever imagined. And the way to get started is to, first of all, draw close to God, begin to know Him on a new level as an amazing good Father, and that how incredible and awesome He's made you as His handiwork, and the wonderful plans that He has for your life, the calling, the giftings, and begin to develop those, dust them off, oil them up, and grow them, and take small steps, encourage, overcome fear, overcome things that want to distract us, hinder us, put our flames out, and let's move forward, okay? I want to see you living out loud, friends, serving the purpose that God created you for. You are more amazing, more awesome than you think. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye for now.